Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is Travis Semulin Sowers, and we are jumping into a best of one draft on MTG Arena in my favorite format, Strixhaven. We are on quite a streak so far today, so buckle in and prepare to be excited. I think we would like to take the mascot exhibition here. I quite like Body of Research, and it's super fun to build around and make a giant thing and kill your opponent with. But this is my first opportunity to take Mascot Exhibition. It is the first time I have seen the card, and I've seen it be quite good. The only issue with 7 drops is that sometimes you don't have 7 mana, but this one you're only going to go get it when you have the 7 mana, or when you're expecting to. So I think this is a really strong pick, and also it being colorless means it's not committing us to anything other than we need to find at least one learn card in the draft. I'm pretty comfortable with that. So here we've got some decisions to make. Not a lot, as there's only a couple of cards that I think are in consideration, which would basically be Dina, Rip Apart, and possibly Elemental Summoning. Now, I like Rip Apart because I like Lorehold a lot. I also like Witherbloom a lot. I think those are my two favorite colleges. It seems like it's harder to make Witherbloom work, but a good version of Witherbloom is better than a good version of Lorehold. We did some work on the last YouTube draft where we were building a deck that would cycle through the entirety of itself, and the only issue is that sometimes your opponent's decks have bombs, and they'll eventually get to them, and you need to have the right mix of removal and threats in your own deck to compete. So I'm not opposed to trying that deck again, but I'm not excited by the prospect. So I think I'm going to take Dina, see if this is open. If it's not, we'll move right along. And maybe we could do stuff with Rutha, because Rutha is also quite powerful. Most of the stuff you would want from that Lorehold deck anyway you could wheel, so you don't have to stress about it too much. But Rutha is arguably even better than this. And now the other decision-making things start to pop up. Because Quandrix Cultivator is quite good, we could considerably look at, like, splashing Rutha in a Cultivator-esque deck. Yeah, I think Temur is arguably the best deck. Arguably the best deck to put a mascot exhibition in, and we just got past 2 cards that are like, hey dude, go for it. So I'm going to assume we're doing this unless somebody stops me. So the mascot exhibition is obviously going to go in here. We could take this pop quiz and be like, okay, we can always get it and know that we're fine. Arcane Subtraction would also do that. The Amplimancer would be a serviceable 2-drop for what we're doing as well. I think I like the first pop quiz to make sure we can get this. And it looks like we're going to be playing Temur stuff, unless something really weird comes by to change my mind. And I don't see it here. We can take a field trip. We will need to get some interaction at some point. This has continued to impress me, especially as people continue to like pass and pass and pass on Arcane Subtraction. The Drake has just done more and more work for me. I think it's exactly the 2-drop that you want. You do have to be willing at times to trade it off for a 2-1 in the early game because your hand is just saying, yeah, you're not going anywhere. But I'm not opposed to that either. Introduction to Annihilation is another nice one to have, although I think I value the first campus higher. It's a question. Maybe that's not true, because I've got 2 campuses I could pick from, and I've already got 2 learn spells, so we may as well start building a lesson board. I imagine we're going to get Mascot Exhibition quite a bit, but I wonder why this doesn't make a pest. Like, it seems like it should, right? And not that it doesn't do enough. Just that, you know, some people got left out. We've got another Drake, which I've already mentioned. I like them quite a bit. They are susceptible to Arcane Subtractions on the other side, so that's kind of something you'll have to be aware of as well. Solve the Equation came back, which I don't usually want. But I certainly don't want any of the rest of this. And if this deck takes a weird turn and picks up a very powerful spell that I'm willing to pay that extra for, we could go for it. Test of Talents I'm usually very happy to have. And we need some good spells to copy, obviously, but we'll try to pick those up. Huh. I don't think that's quite how that works. Okay, I feel like our early game is secure. We can start looking for the big thing to do. Yeah, there's all the 2-drops we'll ever need. Teach by example into Mascot Exhibition is a fun time. You are a monster cannon. An absolute monster. This pack is leaving us a bit wanting, although I don't mind the Elemental Masterpiece. I don't think I would want the Expressionist in a deck that's going to be this heavy green. Not that the card is bad, but a lot of what it's offering you is the possibility for a 4-mana 4/4 that your opponent's scared of in the early game. And if we're not realistically able to cast it until turn 6 or 7, it's not nearly as good, because you may as well just get 2 4/4s. I think I'm happier with this. Lightning Bolt would be the removal we're looking for. Hey, Young Trogdor, thank you for supporting the channel and buying a Semulin Buster. Y'all spam some cats for Young Trogdor. Thank you very much. Boom. Especially during a subscriber drive, that is much appreciated. Thank you very much. I'm a little torn between the Bolt, which doesn't kill everything I want to kill, the Eureka Moment, which gets us to big mana to cast Elemental Masterpiece and digs through the deck. To an extent, the Elemental Summonings, which would be nice to like field trip into Elemental Summonings. Like, I want nice removal, but I may not be able to find much better than this. I'm curious how the mana is going to work out for that. I don't think it is. I think I'm supposed to take Eureka Moment. There's the Arcane Subtraction if we're interested in that. There's also a Witherbloom Pledge Mage, which I have been very happy with having these in a Quandrix deck. Splash Red. I guess we call it Teamer now. We'd probably use an Archway Commons. I'm assuming we're going to get some pieces to make a Serpentine Curve work. We just don't have them yet. But I think I like this subtraction, and then we just find any other lessons we want from there. Are we ramping hard enough that we could do 2 Elemental Masterpieces? Because at this point we've got Field Trip, Eureka Moment, and the Quandrix Cultivator. Because if we're not, Heated Debate's okay. I think it's actually better than Lightning Bolt in a lot of cases because it kills bigger things. So we could play a Heated Debate. Copying a Heated Debate's pretty fun. It is stretching our mana base further and further and means I probably have to find an Environmental Sciences at some point. I would not play Dark Ritual Unlimited. I think I like the debate. It feels weird to pass Lightning Bolt and then get excited about Heated Debate, but I think it kind of works out. That's an interesting one because we've got Regrowth versus Fractal Summoning, but I'm going to take the Regrowth. I've basically criminally undervalued this card over the course of draft in and draft out. Dave told me I was undervaluing it, and I argued with him. And then Auntie was like, this is basically Demonic Tutor with a little bit of extra restrictions. And I think he's right. Like you do. So Gambit is the best card in this pack. We could probably find a way to cast a Spirit Summoning, but I doubt we'd ever cast it where it was particularly relevant. But it's probably the one for us. I don't really need another Amplimancer. I don't really need any of this, do I? This one's a little scurry. If we do get our Serpentine Curve, I think I would be happy with the Curate and solve the equation. Leyline does give me one big thing to do, and reasonably copy with Rutha. I've already got enough 2-drops, so I don't feel compelled to really focus on those. Not that we wouldn't play more, but like, honestly, I really like the colonies more. I think there's a weak pack for a lot of people, but now I feel like I have more than enough 2-drops. There's even some argument to take the other colony and just cut the Amplimancer. I don't think we're going to be looking for a reflective golem. Yeah, I think I'm down with this. Probably play that. Eh. It's really unlikely we play this solve the equation, but it could happen. I don't think this deck needs a Cogwork Archivist, but I've kind of started putting them in just about every deck I play, and I have not typically been unhappy about it. Hello, Thonair. How are things in your world? So here we need a couple big things. The Symmetrist could be quite good. We've passed on a couple fractal summonings, and I think I'm in the market for one now. I'm also in the market for an environmental sciences if we can find one, and a serpentine curve. But this is just a solid blocker. Like, I'm not scared of Air Force right now. Kind of late with one article, deadline today. Otherwise, great. We're doing good. This is an interesting one because Tempted by the Auric is quite good. And Cultivate solves a lot of the concerns that we're having. I actively want both of these cards. This is really good at taking your opponent's large token and kind of getting them with. But I think I need the Cultivate more. And it makes me a little sad. But here we are. It's not going to wheel. If it did, we'd be happy about it, but it's not. This deck could probably play a Vortex Runner and have that be a reasonable adjacent threat. It looks like we're going to hit all of our land drops. I probably don't need to pick it now. There's not any of the lessons that I'm particularly interested in. So I think I could see Campus. What's up, Rob? I don't think I need the Campus Guide, because I like that when I'm a little short on 2-drops anyway. I think I like the Prismari Campus. This pack is leaving us a little hurt. You know, I think it is too, Dave. I'm with you on that. I don't think we're actually going to play any of this. I feel like we're getting cut a little bit. I would not like to play this Karok, but I may have to. I shouldn't have to do that. We'll just take some gems. Second Test of Talents, I could play. But I feel like having access to Expanded Anatomy would probably be better. If we have to scrape playables, what does that look like? More 2-drops? Okay. I don't think we can cast the Spectacle Mage on time for it to be particularly relevant. I do want this Fractal Summoning. I've got 1, 2, 3 ways to get things. One of them is committed to the Mascot Exhibition, but there's no reason the other one couldn't get a Fractal Summoning, especially with the Symmetrist. We're not going to end up playing the Curates. Yeah, this is kind of petering out in the last pack. Wormhole Serpent kind of saves the day. Pretty happy to see that. It looks like straight Prismari might have been better. Yeah, normally I'd be more interested in the strategic planning, but I guess we're just going to take 2/2s that turn into 4/4s. Last card can be Relic Runner or Archivist. I don't think I'm in danger of drawing myself out here, and I think this could actually be a threat. How do you feel about Double Major? I don't love this card, especially with 11 creatures. It seems bad. I'm going to take it for the gems, but I don't think I want to play it. It seems like every issue I had with first day of class, I have with that. The payoff's higher, but I don't think I care for it. So we may just jam a couple more 2-drops in here and call it a deck. I didn't quite get the removal suite that I wanted. But we've got a good suite of threats. And I think we'll be able to reliably cast all of our stuff. I also think the Squirrel Rid colonies are going to be big. Case Karok. Sure. I felt like we had a lot of potential early in that. And it just didn't quite get there. Doesn't it sort of seem like if we'd been straight Prismari, we might have been better off? We're going to simmer down now for just a minute. So I need approximately 2 more playables in this. There's nothing great enough to go get that I want to be solving any equations. I don't think I need to splash here. I mean, further than I already have. We could consider the double major. Maybe we do double major and Soothsayer Adept. I think it might have been Emperor. I got some indications early that we might could get into this, but then the blue didn't really flow except for the 1 rare that I didn't even take. I don't think double major is great. I'm interested in trying it out, though. Let's see what we can do with the mana here. Because this deck definitely wants green on turn 2. We need at least 8 green sources in addition to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we could probably get in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blue. And then that would leave us room for the 2 mountains. Yeah, the mana is the roughest part of this. Yeah, people like blue a lot in this format. Which is not a bad thing. It's a good color. Sure, we'll be this lady. That works. This kind of feels a bit more like a beatdown deck than what I'm used to playing in this format, but that doesn't mean it can't work. It's actually a pretty reasonable hand for this sort of nonsense. I told YouTube we were on quite a streak, and then you guys didn't tell them it was a losing streak, so thanks for that. Now they'll never know. I think I'm down with the Cultivator this turn. That kind of sucks. But we do have board state in a can. I've heard that card's pretty good. It feels pretty good. That's the first time I've resolved one. First time I've drafted one. I like it. I'm sad we couldn't copy it with Rutha, but I think I'll survive. The Gnarled Professor, eh? This notably does not have reach. It might look like it does, but it does not. I think we go on a little bit of beatdown fun here. That seems like the thing to do when you have this many creatures. Always kind of sad when I have a deck that doesn't have a Cogwork Archivist in it. Yeah, these guys are doing some work. I just like them to make sure I don't mill myself out entirely. But that is probably indicative of this not being as terrible a format as I'm making it out to be. I probably could have swung with more than that, but I'm a little concerned about life gain shenanigans. The Vortex Runner is looking pretty okay here. All right. I guess I could fish and see if I have a way to interact with that. It's like, unless this is the best card in my deck, I should probably draw, and it isn't. I think they'd still have to do a good bit of work to come back from here. Who's a good cat thing? And this guy's been carrying his weight. I think I'm supposed to block this. Like, that's a lot of life gain just sitting there if I don't. We've got him down to functionally 23 here. 27. I've seen that there seems to be a batch of people who are just going bananas for like all the learn cards they can get. And I haven't really tried that deck yet. 17 lands said, let's do it. Is that what the winning data is suggesting? For me, Cram Session is a reminder that you can play as many basic lands as you'd like in your deck. Because I've yet to find a deck that was particularly interested in it. What am I getting with this that I'm interested in right now? Probably my own fractal summoning. I suppose I could get my own introduction to Annihilation. Like, I kind of should cast it here, because I could draw something else that I could play. And I think I can answer that, so I'm just going to get the fractal summoning. Thank you, Wizard. I guess they are gaining an incredible amount of life. I wonder if that's the secret to the deck I've been trying to build over and over to mill yourself out, is that I should just take Cram Sessions and do it. This is bigger, but it could be even bigger on the following turn. This would be 6, 7. That's big enough. Like this into Symmetrist next turn and starting to attack starts to do something. I don't... Well, if they've got a Bury in Books, I'd rather them use it here. This is too many good things for me to cast here, which is a bit of a concern. I think we're happy enough just getting rid of the 5/5. Because now the march of the 4/4s can begin. We have attacked them a lot, and they're still at a healthy life total. So maybe I do underrate Cram Sessions. Tell me what you're doing with it. Your Cram Sessions into environmental sciences win with big stuff? I guess kind of like what they're doing. I think that's Explosive Welcome. So it can go face if you need it. Interesting. Harness Infinity is pretty good too. What happens if we swing team here? Because they'd obviously want to double block this. Let's take a look first and see if I draw anything that changes my need to do math. Double major is not quite doing it right this second. So if we swing team, what happens? What are their best blocks? Eat a 4/4, trade with a 4/4, chump this. So I'm losing 2 4/4s in this. They're going to take 7, 8. They'd probably eat this one. So maybe we don't send with that unless it's getting through. Yeah, they're not going to be able to chump it because of the trample. I feel like swinging team looks pretty good here. So they could block this. They'd still have to double block this one to kill it. Throw something in front of this and they're taking 12, 13, 14, something. Yeah, I feel like if we don't do it now, we're not going to get the opportunity to do it now. Because they just redrew this introduction to Annihilation. They're going to get ahead of us. Death Touch and Trample, yo. That's kind of a big deal. They're not dead this way, no. They are pretty low. And their board is gone. Now that said, they got a lot of stuff they can cast. But like one big fractal isn't going to do it. Something like Gnarled Professor, Silver Quill Pledge Mage, Hold Up Big Play is starting to look reasonable for them. But that may not even be, like that's putting them at 11. And I got a lot more than 11 cranking in. Because this trample should start to hurt. This looks to me to be still mighty close to dead. Because of all these trampling 4/4s. And I think Big Play may have gained him enough life to keep playing, but not by much. It's pretty exciting, though. We're ranking up. We went from 393 to 394 with our victory, which is cool. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle. I swear they should just show you the elo so you don't get the feel bads. It's like, cool, I won the game and lost a point of rank. Ugh. I understand how it works, though. There's a hidden bar that we can't see that's showing progress. If they'd show you that bar, I think it would feel a lot better. Wizard with the kills, Techno Shaman with the assists, rewards for Scar, Crownblade, and Samsa. Go, go. All right, we got to bust these dudes out of jail is what we got to do. But tanking is never a bad thing. So I will provide the tank. Super Animal Royale has a spectator mode now, Martin. I like that theory, John. They're not explaining it to us because they don't know how it works. Actually, yeah, Kanata's really good. I told you guys she is the person I am most afraid of when it comes to those tournaments. Hey, Cannon, would you say you and I are friends? Because if so, you have two friends with a very similar experience. We finished 5th on Breakers at a Team GP. The top 4 went to the Pro Tour. We had the exact same record as 2 of the teams that made it to the top 4. They changed the way Team Limited GPs are done after that one because of what happened to us. It's a little crazy, but I'm a little crazy. There you go. You got 2 friends that happened to. Yeah, I would go to a Team Limited GP again. Team Limited GPs are fun. I don't see any reason not to play this now other than to potentially make them afraid of a berry and bugs. So I guess we do that. I think I'm supposed to block it again too. Team GP near me is about the only reason I would play Paper Magic again. Yeah, the last Team GP in DC I was at with my friends Martin and Jeff. It was a good time. Kinda sucks. That is potentially relevant information. Oh, the Dulles Metro Center. I thought you meant the bus or train setup. I've read on that a couple times. I figured we chuck the 2 lands because drawing another land is pretty good. Drawing 2 more lands is pretty good. I don't know which of these I'm supposed to be more afraid of right now. I imagine it's the Drainer. So far, Double Major has underwhelmed me, which is kind of what I thought it would do. It did give him a target for Duress, though, so I guess it's got that going for it. I mean, they seem pretty cool. Nice! We went from 394 to 394 with our victory there. We are ranking up. Yes, I could imagine cloning a dragon would be a big deal. Well, it looks like it because we lost a point in the last game and we didn't lose any points here. So I think we're definitely doing better. I don't think anyone actually knows that aspect. At least I don't know that aspect of it. I know that it's fun to watch a bar move up when you win games, and there should be some kind of bar here that moves up. Hearthstone Battlegrounds show you your ELO rating, which I enjoyed quite a bit, because you could kind of see yourself ranking up over time. That kind of ended up being my favorite of the auto battlers. It was an interesting combination of like card game / auto battler. Not having to worry about the board positioning was nice, and the interface was smoother for me than TFT. I think I overall liked the idea behind teamfight tactics, but there was a high barrier to entry. And that if you didn't kind of know a lot of the League lore already, you were in a bit of trouble. Riot has done such a good job with taking a genre of video game and making a wonderful version of it. I wish they would hire somebody that really liked limited card games and make us a good limited alternative. Because I did think Legends of Runeterra was incredibly well designed, and it was fun. If you like constructed. A good cat thing. I mean, I think you cultivate here. This is kind of how we drew it up. So do I think Cody's going to kill me next turn? Because I can Arcane Subtraction, go get Introduction to Annihilation, and kill it. But that means I'm not Ruthing this turn. But I think generally speaking, that is probably... We're probably in a lot of danger if I let them untap with Cody. Because I'd like to get this and set up to copy it, but let's start with not losing the game. Yeah, so Cody starts with turning their Pledge Mages into 4/4s. Nice! We went up from 392 to 392. But it also means they're just cascading spells out of their deck, which is bloody terrifying. Is it adjusting the number down there? Because maybe I actually haven't been moving and paying attention to it. But we're moving. We're moving. Cody was better than what anyone expected, yes. It looked like crap to me too. But then you put it in a deck, cast one spell with it, and you're like, hey, wait a minute. I don't think any of us appreciated initially how many spells there were in this set. Which you probably should have with something like Mage School being the major theme. With those resubs that we had earlier, we are up to 469 subscriber points. Thank you very much for your support over the past week, boys and girls, and others. I appreciate y'all being here. Nice. Have Scurrid Colony will travel. Although a 1/3 looks a little better here. I think it's the second Blood Mage we've seen today. A lot of Blood Magi. So presumably this deck is going to want to ramp. And this seems like a safe spot to do it. This basically puts me on the play. I don't think I want to get the exhibition yet. Although I suppose if they make me discard it, I can always just regrow it. So it's like, hey, take this, and if we happen to draw 2 more lands, we're good to go. And if we don't, I've got all this other crap to play. Yeah, even if they duress me, this isn't that bad. I figured if they had something like that, it's better for them to choose a land or not than get a random card. So do I want to have subtraction up or cast the colony? I probably want to cast the colony. This seems like good blockers coming our way. I reckon we just take the first one then. Maybe pop quiz into Intro to Annihilation and get rid of it. I can't quite subtraction into that. Can't play too fast and loose with this life total. I mean, that does look like a good way to finish the game, but I need to stabilize too. Which we can do. This gives him one flyer that I can block, and I'm going to kill that. I don't know quite what I'm doing about this thing yet. I reckon we could just do this. Then kill that next turn. That seems alright. So perhaps you were correct, Vihaltus. I mean, this is just a good block if they don't have something. Can confirm this is a confusing game. Let me introduce you to Annihilation. This feels like a good board state. And it would appear that they agree. Huzzah! Now the streak's moving the right way. And we went from 392 to 389. We are gaining some points here, ladies and gentlemen. Being a bit sarcastic, YouTube, and I apologize for that. What I believe I have learned is that if you would like to be Mythic #1, you can't really grind your way there. You sort of have to do it via... Which of these is better? I don't even know what I want to do with these mastery bubbles. I guess just unlock all the avatars and move along. But you kind of need to, like... I got 2 bubbles? Man, that's cool. Let's get all these avatars unlocked. Anyway, you kind of need to push for it the first day of a reset and just grind for like 12 hours once it resets. Because when there's a bunch of people in Mythic, like you're moving up 2 points at a time and a loss sets you back 16 points, like you've got to win an incredible amount of games to move up. So the goal may not be attainable this month, but it may be something I can plan around after the next reset. You need an incredible hot streak, or you need to be one of the first people to make Mythic in a season. So like, say there's, a couple hundred people now that are playing, you need an incredible hot streak. But what if it's the beginning of the season and I'm starting at noon? I could conceivably win enough games that I'm one of the first people to make Mythic. And if that happens, I would be ranked number 1 or 5 or something. I don't know about that one, Cannon. I know that I'm not capable of doing that. I am not made of money. Huh. I think a lot of the top players are streamers, and I would imagine that they would not do that. Even decks that I don't like have performed well at times. So I don't think that's a viable stratagem anyway. That is not the way I would try to go. All right, I can work with this. It doesn't have green, but we can find green. There's more green in this deck than anything else. And again, we could just be dead to Killian. I could get a Spirit Summoning and worst case scenario play that. Like, is it crazy to start thinking about getting Introduction to Annihilation for that guy? I don't think so. I don't think Spirit Summoning is doing enough here. Field Trip is nice, huh? Okay, now I kind of am interested in it. Because we need to hit them manas. That's a start. I can get the colony out and hold up Test of Talents. We would basically counter a cheeseburger this turn. Because I think next turn has to be kill Killian. So I'm kind of hopeful that they try to cast a spell to kill the colony and we get to counter it. Because the advantage we have here is that they don't have a lot of lands in play. And we do. But this counts as a cheeseburger, and we're going to counter it. There's also likely a lot more Essence Infusions in their deck. So we'll get some value off of that too. They've got Professor's Warning, cards we don't care about. Demonic Tutor, that's bloody terrifying. What else do we care about? Some flyers, a Liliana, that's pretty good. All right, this is scary. I technically should have exiled it, but I forgot. I kind of got scared when I saw the Liliana. I don't think I can not block. They're going to Professor's Warning it, and it sucks. This is way too much incoming damage. This has to stop first. I'm trying to decide if we regrowth that little dude and plan on double majoring, because I can field trip and make a 3/3 here. They're going to tap it, so it's not like it's blocking now, and I need a lot of blockers fast. So I think that is actually my call. Because this will put me into a lot of blockers pretty quickly. I think I'm supposed to attack. But I'm bloody terrified. I can't this turn. This is not enough blockers. Next turn we'll have enough blockers. You see my concern? Because closing statement means I have to chump the apprentice. This is getting awfully close to dead. This is going to look crazy too, but we know they have another Professor's Warning in the deck, and I don't need to just lose to it. I guess they would just, well, they'd just give it indestructible. We can't play around it. Yeah, it just kills me no matter what. They can't closing statement, but I'm dead to the Professor's Warning no matter how I block there. That was tough. That was really tough. Resolved Mascot Exhibition, able to recur it the following turn, still not good enough. There's your aggro deck, if you're looking for an aggro deck. All right, the games where we've had turn 2 Squirrel Colony have been quite good. I would like to continue that trend. They cramming. They accepting. Five color nonsense. I'm tasting the rainbow. I guess if they're going to toss something, it can be this. I feel like they've probably got a bury in books, and I feel like I'm probably okay with them burying this. And if they don't, that's fine too. I don't know what they're holding up if it ain't that. Heated debate? Alright. I wonder, I guess they were going to see if I drew something better? It's specifically been the games where I've had a colony and the Prismari campus that were good. That block means they either have a Wrath or they're just ready to die. Mine's bigger. Hey, what's up, Mel? It should have made a 1/1 pest and a 0/0 fractal. That would have been funny. If they tap out for that fractal summoning, they're just dead, right? Yeah. I approve of what they're trying to do. They still have to divide this by 0. And it's pretty close to lethal next turn. Yeah, they were pretty much on burying books or bust there, and looks like they hit bust. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle. Haste seems like the place in these battles, because we got banks to rob, yo. And Clint Eastwood orc to kill. That guy's angry. But apparently not good at killing things. You gotta catch him while he's reloading. But looks like we have the victory here as well. Wizard with the kills and the assists. Thank you for the carry. Rewards for Yak, Zibby Live, Cosmere Dragon, Simwife, my favorite person, and Petrus. And the boss is dead. Long live the boss. We have completed Orchdromeda. Now we do it again. Oop. All right, we got 2 potential fights left here, and we've gone from 392 to 393 with our victories. Like I said, I think if you want to hit Mythic number 1, you have to chase it at the beginning of a season, not try to climb it from the bottom. I'm still going to do it this month. But it doesn't seem as likely, you know what I mean? Yeah. All right, have colony will travel. What are we most interested in here? Probably the anatomy, although one could argue that, like, prophecy might be better to get deeper. Yeah, I think so. Because if I whiff on a land here, I would like to be able to cast Introduction to Prophecy and potentially hold up Test of Talents. Don't really want that double major. Don't really want this right now. I just want to hit some lands. Yeah, let's just stop the card draw. I don't usually counter card draw, but I can kind of dig it here. Yeah, they're looking for land. Tempted by the Oreek. That's a good one to know about. That's a lot of expressing they were looking to do. The challenge, of course, is that we can't do much with this. If I buff this, they're just going to tempt it away from me, which makes me unhappy, but I think I need to kill this and set them back a turn. Because it's about who can hit their land drops and get to the thing with the stuff. And right now, it's looking like them. I'm so scared of that Tempted by the Oreek, and I feel like it's probably the one that I passed, and it's going to kill me. And there may not be anything I can do about it. God, I'm even less likely to want to cast this Leyline Invocation. This is bloody terrifying. Like, as soon as they hit an island, I'm just dead. I think if I want to catch up, I need them to take these things, get to Rutha, and copy this. And that's not even particularly exciting. Okay, the Wormhole Serpent they at least can't take. They can't take that away from me. They can Piggy Storm it, though. This was a rough draw, and I don't like it. Am I just dead, or do I have a turn to try this? If I cast this, they're just going to take it. I think we're just dead. But we'll see how it plays out. Because I would need to hit a land to copy this anyway, and they're still sitting there with Attempted. Wait, I think it means it's just a matter of time until we're dead. They don't even really need to do anything here. And I didn't draw the land to copy this anyway. And even if I did, they would just take one of... They could still play Rutha and just wait a turn. This one's awful. Yuck. Did not care for that. So we lose 3 points. I suspect we'll get through to the boss again. We're doing a lot of streaming this month. So you may get another try. All right. Can we get to 7 wins? I believe we could. It is in theory possible. Although statistically a bit less likely now. Cultivate should be Cultigrate, and we're on the play, so I like where this one's going. Hey, what's up, Scary? I hope you're doing well, too. I have not, DJ. We can cast our hand next turn. What about Flounder? I don't know if they do or not. We're doing a coward check here. Confirmed warrior. Okay. Double Mythic. I think this is just a rare. Not that it's not good. It's certainly good. I did not care for playing against Ruin Crab, personally, no. But I don't play Constructed, so I assume it's just as miserable there as it is anywhere else. I assumed that was going to get buried, and that kind of is what it is. No attacks just yet, but soon. Regrowth would be nice. What's up, Vice? Good to see you. I can't remember what we've got to get. I assume it's something good. Intro to Annihilation seems okay. Fractal Summoning seems okay. Expanded Anatomy on this at least lets it get in an attack, which seems okay. There's a lot of things that seem okay. I think you could, Dave. Maybe a big fractal is just what I want with all this mana sitting around and trample engaged. I should have activated this first, but I'm bad. I don't need your shenanigans. I'm trying to decide if we attack with our 4/4 token, and I think the answer may be no this turn and yes next turn. That's fair too. I don't know anything about Canadian taxes except for value HST and VST, depending on the province. So I guess I know something about Canadian taxes, but not a lot. I know about Canadian taxes if you're trying to ship a product to Canada. That sounds pretty good, Dave. Let's do that. No. I'm not eating ketchup chips. They're gross. They sell all dressed chips here now. Ketchup makes me vomit. Like, smelling it gets me close to regurgitating. I mean, that's fair, but I could also just get honey barbecue chips. I can get them here. I think they're pretty good. Dave's lived all of Letterkenny. He doesn't have to watch it. If you would like to share where you grew up, Dave, you are welcome to. And then you can tell people about how accurate Letterkenny is compared to that. So this would be 7, 8. I also feel we started watching a little bit of Letterkenny, and it seems kind of like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with Canadian flavor. Because the people are kind of degenerate. And not in a good way. To start. Well, there's rampant misogyny through it, which I don't particularly care for. I'm going to have to be careful about milling out here because I'm down to 10 cards. So we can't go digging too deep. I need a regrowth relatively quickly and we can win the game. The expanded anatomy is adding 2 power and toughness to the board. The spirit's adding 6 power and 4 toughness. And I don't think the anatomy's enabling any attacks. It's just setting them up to potentially blow me out. Like, one of our best ways to close out a game was the Wormhole Serpent, and I'm legitimately concerned that we're going to mill out from here. We may need to start swinging with Needle Drakes. I don't think we're quite there yet, but you can see it from here. Now, as soon as we top deck Regrowth, they'll probably Scoob. I was trying to decide what else we would Regrowth, because probably Regrowth Fractal Summoning and Mascot Exhibition, but Leyline Herpaderp's probably better, because then I could double both of those too. But I don't feel like it's safe to activate this again. I hope he wins. Luca's good people. Well, ideally they didn't kill Rutha. This displeases the Travis. I guess that means we would regrowth the Rutha. No, we still wouldn't do that. Now I feel like I may need to dig. The Pledge Mage just doesn't do anything. But sure, let's fetch one more land out. And I think we have to start swinging with the Drakes. Because we've got Test of Talents, Elemental Mastery, Double Major, and Regrowth. It's pretty easy for them to take one trade here. The question is what can start going in afterwards, and one of the 4/4s may be about ready to jump in. Because I got 2 dead draws and 2 good draws, and I need to be able to close a game out in 6 turns. More than mine by about 10. The Double Major is a blank until I draw the 2/3. But once I draw the 2/3, it does start to do something. We may need to start doing swing team math. If they make easy blocks, we would be getting in for 4, 5, 6, which is pretty significant. Let's see if this resolves. This only copies creatures. Okay, so they know what we're up to now. I think this means I still wait at least 1 turn on the team swing. Because if they've got another spell, there's no sense in letting them eat a 4/4 for free. I've been pretty happy with Test of Talents. We've got one in our deck as well. And in this match, I would like to have the Archivist of the Cogwork variety. Well, no, I mean, I think it would have been great for us too if we'd drawn one. Okay, so Regrowth can get me any card that I want. What card do I want? Because I need one that leads to a win. Mascot Exhibition is a lot of power and toughness, but really only the 4/4 matters. I'm wondering if Leyline isn't better. If I get a creature, I also get 2 copies of it, which is something, but none of these creatures are good enough to get 2 copies of. I'm glad to hear he was able to pull that off. I think I need to see if this resolves first. And I think it should probably be Mascot Exhibition. I also think it's time to swing team. Because I have to close this out sooner rather than later, and overwhelming the board may be my only option. If we had an Archivist in the deck, I don't think I'd have to be quite as worried about it. But now it's starting to become a question of, is the Unblockable Dude the bottom card? Because if it is, we may not be able to close the game out. And I'd like to be able to close the game out. Well, it isn't, but we also don't know what these 2 cards are. Like, if those are legitimately 2 spells, we could actually be in trouble. Imagine they have 2 Burying Books here. Okay, as far as things they could have had, that's not the worst for us. Because with them at 3, we've got a pretty good board state. I feel like I'm hearing some sort of bird sound. Are you guys hearing that? A Time Warp would do it. Draconic Intervention would do it. Blue Sun Zenith would do it. Maybe the bird sound is coming from outside and it's a bird. Yep, that's what it is. The bird sound was a bird, which is the most likely explanation for bird sound. Like, why did they add in a chattering bird? Like, oh, they didn't. That was already part of the base program. If I swing here, what happens? Doesn't seem like much reason to attack with the ground pounders. If I swing team, they eat this, block these two, and go to 2, and then I don't have enough to force through the last bit of damage. That Snow Day may be what they needed to get out of this. I get 2 damage, but I don't need 2 damage. I need 3 damage. So they'll need to add to the board currently. And it would help if we could draw something that wasn't a land out of these last 2. I think we still have 1 land left. I do have 17 life, but I only have 2 cards left in the library, and right now that's our limiting factor, not the life. That's good news. Why can I not cast this? It's an instant. Oh, I have to cast the Vortex Runner first? Does that mean I have to go in full? It targets a spell on the stack. Okay. The attack does make sense here for reference. So we make the attack first. Because now it would be lethal. So they need to have something here. Which they do not. I thought it was copy the next creature, not copy one that's on the stack. We went from 396 to 397. Heck yeah. That is super rewarding and fun. All right, I'm going to fire off our Stream Raiders battle, take a quick potty break, and come back and see if we can win the next round. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we got Yak with the kills, Pet with the assists. The deck is currently 6-2. Rewards for Cosmere, Pet, Stonehenge, and Yak. Alright, we should go for the gold, because you guys have probably got your tokens by now. So it is our opportunity to be the final boss. Still feels weird to be ranking and just watching that number not move, but I understand how it works now at least, and it's that there's a hidden bar that's going up. When I played Hearthstone's Battlegrounds, it would show you your MMR and not your rank, and you had to go look to see what the rank was. This is one of those hands that I feel like I should probably mulligan. I don't want to, but it would definitely need to flood out from here. And this is not good enough. Like it's like it's already a mulligan to 4 basically. But you had to go look up where you actually were. I suppose I'll give this one a try because it's got Rutha, and that could lead to interesting things. And I've been summarily unimpressed by Double Major. It's better than the last hand, but not by much. But anyway, in Hearthstone's Battlegrounds, it showed you your MMR, and you could go look up your rank. In this case, it's showing you your rank, but you can't see your MMR. So it just feels like you're not moving very much. Which is not the case, it's just hidden information. Kind of locked into doing this turn anyway. I'm trying to decide if I like Expanded Anatomy, and I think I do here. Because that would lead to a turn where I can do that in the Drake, or maybe copy it and make a 6/6. That doesn't strike me as the best use of my mana, but I do like having Rutha in play. I think they're probably likely to do like a Guiding Voice and duplicate it this turn. And I could have blocks for that and maybe even get bigger depending on what they have. It's kind of awkward if they've got Heated Debate because they're like inclined to use it on Rutha, which will still leave me with a 4/4 that grows. This is, of course, the awkward part is like, what do I do now that they've just attacked in? And I think it's probably this. Trade a 2-drop for a 2-drop. I don't think that's going to get much better. There's the Guiding Voice shenanigans we kind of expected. They put both of them on that? Okay. Well, that's less than ideal. Heated Debate isn't good enough to get rid of that little thing. I don't really have anything wonderful to cast, though. But I suppose if we're going to stabilize, it probably has to start with this. I'm just concerned about the 4/4 now. This gives me, what, 5, 6 that I could use this turn? And I kind of need more than that. I need Rutha to be able to block, and I need Heated Debate to be able to kill this. And that would still leave me taking 4, 5, 6, 7, going to 1. And then we untap and cast Mascot Intervention. So I need to draw an untapped land, essentially. That's pretty awkward. And they need to not have anything. No, we would take 7. It does, but it's not going to be alive. If it pumps itself, we'll kill it. If it pumps something else, we've got other blocking options. Like, remember, we still get to kill something, which we haven't done yet. So if we hit an untapped land, and I'm able to cast this, I will still have blockers for everything. So, well, I guess this just means we block and see if they have anything. One isn't 0, but it's pretty dang close. Okay, that probably kills us, because we needed the untapped land. Because yeah, ugh. There's not enough blockers. We got a bit overwhelmed there. This displeases the Travis. And I couldn't pull it off any other way. Yeah, that's an awkward finish for this one, but it is what it is. Alrighty, YouTube. We started at 350 and we worked our way through 6 wins to number 400. So we are moving on up. This still does like confirm for me that if you want to hit Mythic number 1, it's not about grinding. At least not grinding over a month. It's about like, if you want to finish the month at Mythic number 1, you're probably going to have to do that. If you just want to hit it at some point for the bragging rights, you need to just wait for the reset and then do it. But I'm not unhappy with 6 wins. But like, when does that reset? It doesn't say. Didn't it used to say? Oh, that you got to click on it. 21 days. So 21 days from now would mean that this is resetting around the 31st. But like the deal is we should take the 31st and just go, 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 go. Which is funny, if we hit all of our goals, that would probably be when we do the 24-hour stream. So that would be the time to do it. But as for now, YouTubers, I appreciate you guys and gals tuning in. Do come by the stream sometime. It's at twitch.tv/Semulin. And we will see you next time.